Hi folks, and welcome again to our series Clouds, a lesson, a blessing, and an opportunity. We've spent most of this series this is a series about mental health, and we've spent most of the time talking about types of mental health, in particular impacts upon our mental health. Tonight I wanted to offer you a model of good mental health and what that could possibly do for you. This is especially pertinent to people with depression and anxiety, but it relates to all of us, I think, even those of us who haven't at the moment got a mental health problem. I want to talk tonight about Stoicism, and Stoicism is an ancient philosophy. It goes back to about 300 BC. And it's a great way to train your mind, train your body into a way of regarding yourself as the center, and everything gravitates outward. It's a model of continuous training. And it cultures positive notions and positive psyche, and brings a lot of joy, I believe, and understanding to life. And one of the central aspects of it is do not fear, because fear is a waste of time. And that if we go inside, if we maintain that internal geography, if we maintain that as peaceful and calm as possible, then everything else reflects that external to us. And Stoicism first came to light from a man called Zeno in Greece, ancient Greece, 300 BC. And he was suggesting that this internal locus of control, this internal strength, can be done through various different exercises or training your mind in certain ways. And one of his main points is your happiness is not dependent on other people's opinion. And impressing people is not something we should really care about. And when you think about that, you think about how many times we do that in life. I think our society is built upon that, about impressing people we don't really care about. It's just an etiquette, maybe, or a means to an end. But that means to an end brings negatives into our life. Because one of the biggest negatives that brings into our life is the fear of failure. Failure is not the end of life. At some point we all fail. At some point we all mess up, or we don't do something as perhaps we should, or the circumstances in our lives are not good for this type of thing to be successful. If that is your focus on life, you're no different from the sheep, following blindly along. But Stoicism is suggesting that we all fail, so throw yourself into whatever you're doing without that fear of failure, and it will change your life completely. And it does change your life completely. If you want a job, for instance, or if you're going for a relationship, and the biggest blockage to that is, what if I fail? What if I mess up? What if this person doesn't like me? What about if this interview doesn't go well, and then you decide not to actually try? But fear of failure is not the end of the world. It's not anything that we should be afraid of. But it does create options. when we fail, there are options there. Do we take a new road? And sometimes it may be argued that those are divinely inspired, that we fail for a reason. This thing wasn't for us, or this experience of failure will set us on a different track. One of the greatest things that Zeno was saying was get a mentor. Get a mentor for your life. Someone you trust, someone you can bounce ideas off, and who's sort of like-minded person. Zeno said that this is very important to cultivate yourself, because an unexpressed thought is of absolutely no use to you. You know, you need to test your thoughts, your beliefs, your understanding in the fire of someone else's opinion. If you know what I mean by that. Zeno also said, read, and gain knowledge from it. If this sounds familiar to you, if you're familiar with Wayne Dyer, he builds a lot of his understanding on Stoicism and the Stoic way of approaching life. And Wayne Dyer would say, meditate, maintain your internal geography, read spiritual literature. Doesn't matter what spiritual literature. You know, maybe the life of Jesus, the life of the Buddha, the Quran, perhaps, anything, because all these works are filled with beauty and sacredness and complete wisdom. So Wayne Dyer suggested, do this on a regular basis. Meditate. Hold that internal space. Don't judge others, but don't be wrapped up in others' judgment of you. And read spiritual texts every day. And it will change your life. And that's something I've been trying to do for a while. And it works, you know, it certainly moves you forward. And also, what Zeno was saying is that everything, every failure, every success, every negative thing that happens in your life is dependent on your perspective of it. And that phrase, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You know, you adjust, you adapt. It's so important to be flexible in that respect. Especially if you're dealing with significant mental health problems such as anxiety or depression or any of these things. You must adapt. You can't be fragile within that, because if you're fragile, you will break, whereas you bend in the wind, and it creates a much more fluid and healthy psyche. The approval of other people also is a huge thing in our society. I think a lot of us chase that approval, and it is of absolutely no use to other people's opinion. And again, that's another one of Wayne Dyer's quotes. Be independent of the good opinion of others, because it won't serve you. Mark out your own territory. Find out what you actually believe in and move forward from that point. And that's a great point of strength. And when you do move forward in that, 9 times out of 10, you will be successful in some area. Or if you're not successful, then it's a lesson for you. And it's a wonderful way of looking at life. And don't waste your time whining and whinging and feeling sorry for yourself, because it's completely wasted. It's wasted energy. So adapt to the situation at hand. Keep that mental thought that this situation is arising, no matter whether it's positive or negative, to culture my inner world and my inner understanding and my wisdom. And keep that at the forefront of your mind. This is not the easiest thing to do from the beginning. It needs to be cultured. It needs to be worked through and practiced. And it's only when you're confronted with negativity or failure or negative sets of circumstances that you can test this out, that you can change your perspective to see how you can adapt to that situation and make the most of it. Because sitting down, whinging and crying and moaning and poor me is not helpful at all, and it will spiral out of control eventually. And there's a lot of spiritual literature that is based around these concepts also. And I think if you pick any book that is significant to you, there's some element of Stoicism in it. Because it was a wonderful philosophy, it was a life-changing philosophy at the time. And there's so many other practitioners or speakers upon or philosophers of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, the Roman emperor, the last good Roman emperor, apparently. And he did some great work around Stoicism. Seneca, the great philosopher, Plato. All these people had a foundation in this understanding that you create your internal world first by a few simple rules. You have no power over external events in your life. No power whatsoever. The only power you do have, however, and it is a significant power, is over yourself, your psyche, your thoughts, and how you perceive things. And there are some fundamental truths in life. Life is not simple. It's not easy. We do have to struggle sometimes. We do have to work hard. We do have to move forward. Life is not an easy path for anyone. And that is also pertinent to Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor, had everything he wants. Yet he said that life wasn't easy for him because there's so many other dynamics going on in his life. People who were trying to force his opinion, people who were trying to undermine him, and all these difficult things. Each of us have our own set of difficulties, I think. And we have to acknowledge those really, in all of us and take account of that. Bad things will occur. Bad things will occur. I would love to say that life is all love and light and sweetness and butterflies and unicorns, but it's not. Bad things will occur. And it will be okay in the end. This too shall end. And you will get over it. And I don't know how you've found life and difficulties in your life, but I have certainly found that the hardest pieces of life, the hardest bits of life to go through, you get so much more on the outcome. And the outcome of that. And carrying worry about the future with you is completely redundant. It's self-sabotage in some ways. You have to understand that negatives will come. It's how you react to those negatives that makes you wise or powerful. And it's the same with any great entrepreneur in this life and in whatever field that person may be in. They have all suffered failure. They have all suffered this testing ground. Now, how much do you believe in what you think? How much can you work through that and come out the other end? If you do that, if you keep that mindset, then you will come out much more powerful and much stronger and much better off in general around that. Overall, I think Stoicism, one of the main desires within Stoicism is to reduce stress. Because we pile stress upon stress upon stress on ourselves. So what's in control of that? What's in control? We have a set of behavioral patterns that we have developed over time that are stressful, that buy into stress, that buy into, I must do this this uncomfortable thing. But do you actually need to do it? Do you need to be that stressed? Change your life for the way that you want it to be. You've got a shot at life. Make it the best that you can. It's short. Might as well make it sweet. So the focus is on the internal. What's going on inside? What's in your control? What is actually in your control? The only thing really that's in your control is how you react to situations and how you react to people. Again, Wayne Dyer talks of a scenario that he was in, just to throw light on that comment, in that he was on a transatlantic flight or whatever it was, and the flight attendant was particularly nasty and banging about and really in a bad mood and saying nasty, sarcastic comments and all this type of thing. Because when they've got you up in the air, they've really got you. But Wayne Dyer decided to think about how he would combat this. Now, was he going to be reacting the same way back to them, and that would build up into such a conflict? Or was he going to take a power away from that negativity? So what he did was he said, you must have had a very hard day. And it's a very difficult job you do, but it's a very wonderful job that you do for other people. And that brought the energy of that encounter down. And then eventually this flight attendant became very, very personable and very nice. And I think there's great wisdom in that, you know. Do you have to react to provocation or react to negativity with negativity or with more provocation? I'll stand my ground and I will. But none of that. That's inflexible, and it's very negative mental health. And what's hugely important as well, you know, is that in doing that, you're surrendering your desire to be the upper dog, or the big dog, and that is a position of great power, believe it or not. You know, if you choose to do that, if you choose in that scenario to use a different method, it's so empowering to do that. And again, our lives are full of stress. People we meet can be stressful. The jobs that we do, family members, loved ones can be a source of stress. So there are, again, some things that we control and some things that we can't. So separate out the real issues from the drama. Separate out the real issues of what you can control with those that you can't. And once you find out you have no control over everything, as we were saying before, change your attitude, change your perspective, and you can be the most successful person just by doing that alone, because that's adapting to the situation and using great wisdom in return. Every difficult situation, it's like the title of this series, A Lesson, a Blessing, and an Opportunity. Every great difficult situation is an opportunity for greatness within ourselves. It's an opportunity to change, an opportunity to be the stronger person. And I think that's it's great growth. It's a great way to grow in life. And I think, as Wayne Dyer said, you change your attitude, change your opinion, and you'll change your life. And it does. It actually works like that. There is no such thing as failure. It's just a series of options and a series of discoveries. It's like a scientific experiment. You don't say a scientific experiment has failed, but they've discovered a way not to do something. You know, and that's hugely important. And that's one of the tenets of Stoicism. Use your mind, use your internal power to create the world around you. And it does. This is the co-creation that people speak of. Not accepting hardship. This is not hardship. This is a lesson. And being birthed again into the fire of a new life. But of course, fire can be painful. Difficult circumstances involved in moving through something. And of course, doubt is always at your heels and all that. Once we agree to approach life in this way, we do become so much stronger, so much more self-assured, so much more confident. Our self-esteem comes up. And those are all the things that are stripped away from us and when we encounter mental health difficulties. Our ability to function. Well, this Stoic philosophy is giving us tools to change that, change how we look at things. And I think in the last year or so, we've discovered that fear in general, is a great agent of control of all of us, and a great way to manipulate society by those who choose to do that. But you have a choice in that. You have a choice not to be fearful, to look at things realistically and say, well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with this notion of pandemic, this notion of lockdown, this notion of masks, social distancing, and I don't agree with it because of X, Y, and Z. You have a choice to do that. Now, of course, you'll get a lot of conflict in that, but again, you are in the fire of great creativity and great growth. So it depends how you want to look at it. Embrace adversity. Embrace difficult times, because that's what will make you. That's what will change your personality to something so much more powerful. As I think it was Seneca said, there are more things in this world that will frighten us than will crush us. And I think that's very telling. It's a very telling comment. And one of the biggest fears in life is death. And a lot of us spend our time living in that fear of death. But death is just another part of life. It's just part of the cycle. And to be honest with you, we die every day, a wee bit more. Since we started this video, cells in your body have died. So part of you has died, and we are now. That often regenerates, and change occurs and growth occurs, and that's kind of the fundamentals of Stoicism. Some certain things that, Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, had the world at his feet. Great difficult times as well, but he was the emperor. He could do anything he wanted, could have anything he wanted. But he said, you must get out of bed in the morning. You must get up and get out, because the world awaits you. You must make change, and you can't make change by lying in bed. And of course, that to someone suffering from depression is sometimes difficult, and it's a challenge. But that is the route and the path to good mental health, is getting out of bed in the morning, having a routine, going through your life with meaning. And meaning is hugely important. And I've spoken before about how Carl Jung and Viktor Frankl looked at meaning, because meaning is everything to us. We need an opportunity to grow and have meaning to that growth. And I think that's massively important. Obstacles are our fuel. That's what Marcus Aurelius was really saying to us, I think. And Stoicism in general is really saying to us, we can grow with obstacles. Why look at the easy way when you can grow much taller, much bigger, much greater in with the obstacles. And in Stoicism, there are four main virtues, as Seneca would say. One is courage, and the courage to stand on your feet and create your own internal world and not be a sheep. Moderation, have balance in your life. Not too much of anything, because too much of anything will destroy you. Justice, have a just mind. Be fair, be honest, be truthful, be realistic. Give other people the benefit of the doubt. That flight attendant at Great Britain spoke of, not Great Britain, sorry, Windair spoke of, he took the wind out of her sails, out of her negative sails, and brought her back to the more positive. That's a kind of justice and balance, isn't it? And the last virtue is wisdom. And this is something that you learn very quickly on the Stoic path. If you choose to adhere to the principles of Stoicism, wisdom will come without a doubt. And it's wonderful. In any given situation in life, we can respond with these four virtues. Choose your courage, choose moderation and balance, and not too much, not too little. Justice, always justice. Justice for you and justice for the person that you're interacting with. And of course, use the wisdom that you've shown. That is potted history and the definition of Stoicism. There's so much more to it. And I wanted to do a two-part thing on this, so I'm going to do a wee bit more on Stoicism next week, next Sunday, and look at all the issues around what that means in real terms, and some of the quotes from these great Stoic philosophers. So for now though, we'll do a short meditation around the four virtues. So ground yourself, put your feet on the floor, bring up the energy from the earth. Feel it coming up your legs, up through your chakras, up through your body, encompassing all of you. Feel that grounding energy. And we're going to look at these four virtues in terms of gifts to us. So, begin your breathing. Breathe into the count of 4, hold to the count of 4, and release to the count of 4. That alone, that breathing exercise alone, will change your life. If you can use that in every stressful situation. But do that now. Breathe in. Breathe in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, and release for the count of 4. And listen to the drum. You're standing at a cliff's edge. Opposite you, across a great abyss, is another cliff. And linking the two of them is a small rope bridge. Feel the wind in your hair. You look down, and it's hundreds and hundreds of feet to the ground. You see the rope bridge swinging wildly in the wind. Your hands are on the ropes, feeling their coarseness. Right in the middle of this rope bridge is a baby in a cradle. No one else around. The rope bridge is swinging wildly, and you know that sooner or later that child is going to be pitched over the edge. There are people behind you, and you feel drawn to go out there and bring back that baby from the middle of the rope bridge, but you're fearful. You're never comfortable with heights. And it cuts to the very heart of you. That fear disables you. Makes you freeze. The people behind you are saying, don't go out there, don't do it. You'll only fall yourself. Your weight and the weight of the baby, you'll both die. You see this tiny baby and hear it crying. This child has no advocate in this world. No one to look after it, no one to save it from a terrible fate. What do you do? This is your dilemma. This is your opportunity to use Stoic methods. Remember, the four virtues are courage, moderation, justice, and wisdom. People behind you are shouting, don't do it, don't go out there. Too far down, too dangerous. It's an old rope bridge. It may unravel and you'll fall to your death. Yet the baby is out there. What are you driven to do? Making this one judgment, bringing in justice. Where's justice for the baby? Should I just save myself and let the baby perish? Think about this scenario. The wind's blowing wildly in your face and the bridge is swinging. Let's use a balanced approach. Let's use moderation in our thoughts and our thinking. Don't do anything too wild, but do what's necessary. Proceed with courage. Because what is a life without courage? If you walk away from this situation, you'll never believe in yourself again. What about the baby's life? Is it worth your life? Is it worth risking your life? What's your choice? Remember, you're crippled with fear. Your fear of heights is extreme. Think about this situation. If you go out there, there's a huge chance that the bridge, whilst it's swinging wildly from side to side, will toss you over and the baby. Here's your wisdom. What else can you do to minimize the risk involved in this situation? Well, you cannot do it at all, of course. You can walk away and blame God. Not your fault. But you'll never trust yourself again. This baby could grow into a great human being, a world-changing human being. You've had your chance in your life, and you've done what you've done. But is it down to us to look after each other and do what we can for each other? And a thought enters your head. What if you wrap another rope around your waist and secure it to this end? Then you won't plummet to your death. And that will allow you to go out there in virtual safety. Wisdom. Alternative ways of looking at things. Still, the people say don't do it. How important is their opinion? This is an opportunity to face your demons, face your fears, and become stronger and grow. This is an opportunity that can't be missed. Although the outcome may be negative, with the rope around your waist, you know you're not going to fall to your death. You're relatively safe. If you can make it out to that baby on the rope bridge and bring that baby back, then you and yourself will be a better person, and you will have surprised yourself. What do? Do you succumb to the opinion of others? Do you succumb to your own fear? Do you succumb to the idea that other people aren't important and their lives are not important? And if there's anything that you can do, will you take that opportunity to do something? This in itself is a form of justice. Balance, moderation, wisdom. Now the time has come to say yes or no. And the fear is coming in waves, in tsunamis. What use is the unexamined life, the unchallenged life? So you decide to be the courageous person. You decide to change your internal world. If you don't change it now, you never will. This is one great opportunity to be a hero in your own mind, and a real hero, because you're overcoming yourself. You're taking a different perspective. You've decided to throw aside fatalism. The worst can happen and will happen. Negative things do happen, but equally, so do good things. And you can create those good things. So you tie the rope around your waist and you move forward across the rope bridge, swinging wildly. You shake. Every part of your body is shaking. But you move forward. And each step you take, the wind gets stronger and the bridge moves more so. And at last, you reach the baby. Pick up the cradle. And in a last-ditch example of bravery, you take off the rope from around your waist and you interlock it into the handle of the cradle. And now at this stage, out in the middle, swinging wildly, very fearful, you begin to think, this could work. I might be able to do this. You've already gone through many thoughts, positive and negative. But now, half of this opportunity has been completed with success. And very gently, you turn around, holding very tight to both the cradle, the rope, and the rope bridge. And you slowly recede back. Step by step. And each step brings an overwhelming feeling of joy in your heart. Joy for having the courage to rescue a vulnerable member of our society, a vulnerable human. But equally importantly, is joy that comes from having tested ourselves, having challenged ourselves. And very soon, you're back on solid ground. And so is the baby. Here's an example of a thing that frightened us to death, but didn't crush us. And you are supreme in your world. You have changed. You have grown. You've become stronger. You fulfilled all the four virtues: courage, the moderation in your actions. You've employed justice. And you acted with great wisdom. And you're a hero. Now think of some situations in your life where you could have employed the four virtues. And now become more conscious of your body. The meditation is over. Feel the heaviness of your body. Ground yourself again in your body. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, open your eyes. Hope you found that useful, and I hope you understood the steps we were going through there. Stoicism is one of the great philosophies for life. It believes in life. It believes in the beautiful nature of humanity. And there is a beautiful nature. Our media and our world, our governments would suggest that you should be fearful of people. You should be wary. I would suggest to you that there's more good out there than anything else. And until you test that, you'll never know the beauty of that. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and we will be back on Sunday next for another clouds episode. So we're doing it again, some quotes from Stoicism and maybe expanding on those quotes, and we'll do a little meditation at the end. So I hope you can join us, 9 p.m. Sunday. Thanks for watching guys. Hopefully see you then.